Okay, real talk about. Imagine a country where football wasn't even considered a real sport, where kids grew up dreaming about touchdowns, not goals, where saying I love soccer basically got you side-eyed at the lunch table. Now, that same country is hosting the biggest football tournament on planet Earth. I'm talking about America. And honestly, this story is insane. Stick with me, because this is one of the wildest comebacks in the history of the beautiful game.
Imagine a country where football was once considered a foreign sport, where kids grew up dreaming of touchdowns, not goals, where the word soccer was practically an insult to the sporting culture. Now imagine that same country hosting the biggest football tournament on the planet. That's America. And this is one of the most remarkable stories in the history of the beautiful game. For most of the world, football is religion. It's life. It's the language everyone speaks. But for decades, the United States wanted nothing to do with it. They had American football, they had baseball, they had basketball. Why would they need a sport where you couldn't use your hands? And yet, here we are, 2026, the FIFA World Cup, hosted across the United States, Canada, and Mexico, 16 cities, 48 nations, and a final that will take place in the biggest metropolitan area on Earth, New York City. So how did this happen? How did a country that once banned its own national team from international competition end up becoming football's most important stage? Let's go back to the beginning. The story starts in 1950, the World Cup in Brazil. A young American team made up of postal workers, teachers, and part-time athletes walked onto the pitch against England, one of the tournament favorites. Nobody gave them a chance. And then, in the 37th minute, a Haitian-American forward named Joe Gaetjens stuck out his head and deflected the ball into the net. USA 1, England 0. It was called the greatest upset in World Cup history. A miracle match. A moment of pure football magic. And then, America forgot it ever happened. For the next 4 decades, the United States barely participated in world football. They missed World Cup after World Cup. The sport had no professional league, no serious investment, no national identity attached to it. Football in America was a children's game, something you played on Saturday mornings and then abandoned when you turned 12. But then came 1994, and everything changed. FIFA made a controversial, almost unthinkable decision. They awarded the 1994 World Cup to the United States, a country with no professional football league, a country where the sport ranked below college wrestling in terms of cultural relevance. The football world was outraged. Pelé was against it. UEFA was furious. Critics called it a betrayal of the sport's values. But FIFA had a vision. They saw 280 million people. They saw the world's largest economy. They saw a market that, if football could crack it, would transform the sport forever. And so the gamble began. The 1994 World Cup opened on June 17th at Soldier Field in Chicago, Germany versus Bolivia. And the attendance was 63,117 people. Then something extraordinary happened. Americans showed up. Not just a few of them, all of them. The 1994 World Cup became the highest attended World Cup in history. Over 3.5 million fans filled stadiums across the country, a record that still stands to this day. America had fallen in love, slowly, reluctantly, but genuinely. 1 year later, in 1995, Major League Soccer was born, the professional league that FIFA had demanded as a condition of hosting the tournament. It started with 10 clubs, modest stadiums, modest wages, modest expectations. But it was a foundation. Here's something that will blow your mind. In 1994, there were approximately 10 million registered football players in the United States. Today, that number is over 25 million. America is the second largest football-playing nation on Earth by registered players, second only to Germany. And youth football? The numbers are staggering. More American children play football than any other sport in the world outside of the United States itself. The women's national team became a global phenomenon. 4 World Cup titles, Olympic gold medals, and then came the money. David Beckham arrived in Los Angeles in 2007, not to play football, but to sell it. Suddenly, football was glamorous. Football was cool. Football was American. Then came Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimović, Xabi Alonso, Wayne Rooney, world superstars choosing MLS as their destination. And today, Lionel Messi himself plays in Miami, the greatest footballer who ever lived, in Florida, in pink kit, in front of sold-out crowds. The 2026 World Cup is not just a tournament. It is the completion of a 30-year transformation. When FIFA awarded America the 1994 World Cup, they were planting a seed that most people thought would never grow. But it grew, slowly, stubbornly, against all expectations. Today, MLS has 30 clubs, television deals worth billions of dollars, stadiums purpose-built for football, a generation of American kids who grew up watching not the Super Bowl, but the Champions League. The USA men's national team qualified for 2022 with a squad whose average age was just 24 years old. This is no longer a nation pretending to care about football. This is a nation that has genuinely fallen in love with the beautiful game.
So babies, now you know why America went from absolute zero to hosting the biggest show on earth. You guys already know what to do, Ho. Just 2 clicks, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. That's it, stop!